What's up? How's it going? This is Steve. Welcome to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've really posted some updates about anything. Most of it's been really speed art and stuff. But I've been working on a whole bunch of stuff. But with this YouTube channel, I kind of started to kind of voice my opinions or get my ideas out there. And very rarely do I actually come on screen and kind of share my thoughts about a lot of stuff. And I want to say it is Thursday, July 7th. No, Friday. So it's actually Friday, July 8th. And, if you guys haven't really noticed, which you probably should have, a lot of stuff has been happening with, people getting shot, cops getting killed because of that, stuff in Dallas, Missouri, just all over the place this week. And it's weird because Monday was 4th of July. Everybody was running around, shooting, having Roman candle wars and all that stuff. And then the next day, it's the complete opposite. Or at least for that following week, it went from being very, very, very patriotic to, back to real life, really. And it was just like that. It's crazy. I just remember waking up and, everybody was just going crazy. And, so I live out in Portland, Oregon, which is one of the widest cities in America, from what they say. And, even then, by the bridge, today, if you looked on Periscope or anything like that, for today, there are protesters and stuff. And even then, they were shutting down the bridges and they were trying to stop all the protesting. And yeah, I understand that, but, if there's kids involved and everything, it doesn't really make any sense for you to say, oh, if you don't leave, we're going to pepper spray you or we're going to shoot you with beanbags and stuff. So, obviously, I'm totally glad I did not go out there, because it's not something that, would be conducive to my health, especially with everything that's going on. It's I don't feel like I need to be, if I go out and I want to participate in stuff, I don't feel like I need to have to worry about my safety or my life, to exercise my First Amendment right to free speech. If I want to say something, if I want to voice my opinion or show my support both physically and with my voice, I don't feel like my life needs to be on the line for that. And I think that, as a citizen of this country, that's a right that is granted to me automatically. That's why people come to this country, to have the freedoms that we have to do these things. And it's crazy with all the freedoms that we have, they all come at a price. And at any point, especially for black males, they could be taken away without any sort of logistical reasoning for having them taken away. It's crazy. And that kind of led me on to this whole situation where I feel like all this stuff kind of happens for a reason. All this stuff happens for a reason. If you really think about it, after every single shooting or anything like that, it's all on CNN, somebody takes videos of it, posts it on YouTube, excuse me, and then there's just tons of views on it, there's a lot of attention to it. And if you really think about it, when you post something on YouTube, i.e. this video, somebody posts something on YouTube and they're trying to get views for it. If you're getting millions and millions of views, then that's generating money, that's generating ad revenue, that's somebody's gaining a profit from that viewership. It's this whole situation that the TV has been trying to fight, that YouTube and a lot of Facebook and all those things have kind of taken over, is the viewership, the attention that it's being grabbed. It's why 24-hour news stations are still relevant, because they're able to get that viewership and be up with the times. And so I think about it as okay, somebody posts a video on YouTube or somebody posts a video on Facebook and starts sharing it and gets millions and millions of views in a small amount of time, that's a lot of money that's being generated, you know, because people, aside from like all the other YouTube stars and other YouTubers that like post videos, and anybody that posts a video, you know, nobody's going to watch a video, or it's very rare that like a video will grab somebody's attention and like have them watch it for, you know, 3 to 10 minutes. But if you post a video about somebody that's getting shot and somebody that has this horrible tragedy happen to them in their family, you know, people are watching that for the whole remainder of that time. And that's constantly just generating money for, you know, i.e. Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anybody that posts it. That platform is profiting from that. And so you look at who's actually like benefiting from it. It's not the people, it's not the families or the people that are the victims of it. You know, none of these families are gaining any profit from, you know, the hashtags and all the interactions and all the use that that these platforms are actually being used with. You know, like somebody makes a hashtag of somebody and puts it on Instagram, and now everybody's using that hashtag. That means everybody's using Instagram or Twitter, all those, a lot more than they would normally use it, and it's all because of this specific instance. And you know, that only works, that doesn't work in the benefit of the victims at all. It just works in the benefit of the, you know, the owners of that established platform that we're all using and falling, you know, or succumbing to that whole situation. And so it just makes me think, like, who, at what point do we realize that it's not doing us any justice to continue doing all these things? Yeah, it's cool to be up with the times and it's cool to like do all these things, but like, what do we gain from it? You know, like, who benefits from all these killings? You know, because yeah, we can make a hashtag and we can do all that, but if you really think about it, like, hashtags are just like taking the place of putting like somebody's face on a t-shirt. You know, like, instead of just putting your face on a white tee, it's just, they just make a hashtag of you. You know, and then Instagram and Twitter like reap the benefits of it because you're using their platforms a lot more than you would normally use it. You know, like it's so like who gains from it? Like, do the families gain from this? Probably not, because somebody, like, yeah, probably not. You know, like, nobody ever thinks like, okay, well, if you're going to hashtag it, maybe I should copyright that hashtag so at least I'll get, like, reap some benefits of, you know, this horrible tragedy that directly affects my family, directly affects my livelihood. You know, like, it's crazy how all this stuff kind of just happens, and we kind of let things go by the wayside, or we just like follow some sort of natural tendencies that we all do, just like sheep, you know, and no real like action comes about it, no real response comes about it. You know, I'm not against like protesting and doing all that, because I feel like that's a very valuable part of American culture and American life that that we should take pride in, because that's what the aspect of, you know, voicing your opinion, telling others what you like and what you don't like, and taking a stance is what America was founded off of. You know, that's how we kind of separated from the British, and you know, we were able to get so many things put in place, and it shouldn't go away. But that next morning, after the night of protesting, like, what are you going to do about it? You know, like, what do you do if, you know, somebody loses their job and then all this stuff happens? Like, what do you do? Like, do you create something that that allows for other people to have those opportunities? Like, really, what do you do? Like, because if you really think about it, like, over the course of, you know, however long this has been happening, which is pretty much like every year, you know, like, black men are getting killed. Like, black men specifically are getting killed on camera, and, you know, then that kind of just sets off a domino effect. You know, it kind of goes back to, okay, what is the role of the black man in, you know, the community, you know, in the family? If you're taking away the black man from the community, and i.e., either killing them or putting them in jail, then those are, the foundations of those communities. Those are the builders of those communities. Because the mothers are supposed to nurture and, do all that, but the men are supposed to provide and lead and be strong enough to protect and do all those. So when you kill them and you dehumanize them and you throw them by the wayside, then they don't. It's like you're destroying a very, very valuable part of the black community. And by putting it all, like making it a national scene, you're telling the world that, like, okay, we don't value you because we don't see your value, and we're just going to destroy it, or we're just going to do whatever we want because we don't see that you add value to society by keeping you alive. And so it's like, in this whole tragedy, not only are they continuing to destroy the heroes and the people that are the foundation of our community, but they're also profiting off of it, both indirectly and directly. Because it's like, for at least the past like 3 days, it's been just showing those same videos of like horrible stories of some, one person getting shot just in front of a store, and another one getting shot in a car with his daughter in the back. And like, it's literally like blood in the chest and in arms, and they're just sitting there like dying. And after a certain point, it's like Call of Duty. Like, you get desensitized to it. Like, after like the second or third death, it's like, oh crap, like, that's just a part of it. You don't see it for what it is. Like, it's somebody losing a life. It's people losing their role models. It's people losing the opportunities to better themselves. It's people losing what America's, the foundation of America. Like, you're losing the American dream all in that instance. And it's a domino effect after that. Because now you have future generations that looked up to those people that are being killed and saying, okay, well, my heroes can't even protect themselves. My heroes can't, inspire anybody else because they no longer exist. Like, there's nothing of inspiration that can come from these types of stories. There's nothing, the way their lives ended, there's nothing positive you could take from that. And then it's a domino effect after that, where then, the everyday story of, the cops going to trial, and then after that they get, they don't get charged with something that, they probably should have gotten charged for or whatever, and then people get angry about that, and then it's just this whole cycle over and over and over again. And, like, at what point do you think, like, this is, like, yeah, like, at what point, like, where do you go from there? Like, where do you go from there? Like, it's just, like, that's just all the questions that I have, that, like, there's nothing you could take from this that, has, a positive meaning that I could sit here and just fall asleep and, be easy with my life. Because it's telling me that I have to look around my shoulder, I have to be wary of every situation that I'm in, and I have to have that consciously in the back of my mind or in the front of my mind in certain situations, because, because of probably just how I look, or how I approach myself, or how I look to other people. More importantly, like, I have to take into account that I look different to other people. And people can do what they want based off of the way I look and the way I present myself and show myself to people. And I feel like in a country where we have free speech and freedom of expression, there shouldn't be this notion that I have to be wary of the things that I do if it's not directly harming, if I'm not intending to harm anybody or intending to, impose myself on anybody. I still have to sit there and worry about my livelihood just because of just because of past experiences that have happened with other people. And to sit here and not acknowledge it would be ignorant on my standpoint, because if I'm not aware of that, then I might put myself in a situation that will actually cause my livelihood to be, taken from me. And that's the plight that people don't understand, especially when they're talking about, oh, Black Lives Matter, like all lives matter, like all that whole response is that, yeah, like all lives matter, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be treated the same in certain situations. Like, obviously, like all lives matter, but just because you're saying that all lives matter doesn't change the fact that, it's bad for people of color to go through life in situations of fear. All lives aren't going through situations, and all lives aren't going through life thinking that they should be fearful for life. Just specifically a certain group of people. And so, to sit there and be ignorant of, everything that's going on, and, just being empathetic of all the situations, it's like, okay, if it was, part of like the LGBTQ community that this happened to, i.e., the thing that happened in Orlando, people aren't going to forget that. People aren't going to be like, no, like, this isn't true, or, we should, like, straight people need the same protections as that, and, like, it happens to straight people, too. Like, nobody's really saying that. But when it comes to, like, people of color, it's like, okay, well, there's multiple sides to the story, and you need to know all the facts and stuff like that. Like, freaking Tommy Lynn Haney, or whoever she is, she's an idiot, because, like, you can't sit here and, sympathize with the victimizers and throw the victims by the wayside. Like, yeah, there's multiple sides to the story, but, like, you can't sit here and try to get defensive about something based off of hearsay. We clearly have a video of, we have multiple videos of people that are unarmed and not fighting back. And so if you're unarmed and not fighting back, it's like bringing, a knife to a gunfight. It's like, at a distance, a knife doesn't do anything. At a distance, you're unarmed, because you don't have a gun. You don't have that long distance means of defending yourself, or at least retaliating. And so, from that standpoint, it's like, okay, who's at a disadvantage? The person that doesn't have the firearm, or the person that does have the firearm? The person that does have the firearm, especially if there's multiple people that have firearms, it's just the whole thing of like, okay, like, keep it simple, stupid. Like, keep it simple, stupid. Like, that's it. See what it is, and it is what it is. So, I'm sorry to, like, keep everybody, like, I didn't mean to kind of ramble. I suppose I could have made multiple videos, but since I rarely get on camera and actually do this stuff, it's like, oh, well, it's 12 o'clock. Like, smashing caffeine right now. Animating something. Like, got these paintings right here. And it is what it is. But I just felt like it's one of those things where I feel like I need to share my thoughts and feelings, because I share a lot of aspects that inspire other people. And so to sit here with the YouTube channel that has the ability to, monetize and all these things, I feel like we as people need to look at our intellectual property, i.e. our ideas, our thoughts, our creations, and take ownership for them. If I try to monetize this video, then I'm taking ownership of my thoughts that I have and my views that I have, and not having somebody else capitalize on that stuff. Because in any situation, somebody's capitalizing on it. And if you don't take ownership, and you don't take control of the things that you do and the things that you create, and your ideas, your mind, your essence of life, then somebody is owning you. And so it's that whole plight of, why work for somebody when you can work for yourself? Like, if you have ideas, why wait for other people to come up with ideas when you can just create the ideas yourself? You know, it's America. It's the land of the free. And, you know, to take advantage of these opportunities that we have for ourselves, and to copyright things and to do all the things that benefit us, and by benefiting us, we inspire the next generation because of that success. You know, it's just like the whole Jay-Z thing. It's like, okay, you have to do things to put yourself in a certain position, and then when you're at that position, then you can do what you want. You can do you can inspire. And so that's my whole mission of everything in 20 minutes, 30 seconds. And so I thank everybody for tuning in, and hopefully I will be doing this a whole lot more. Iltopia is getting ready to come out, and if you want to follow me and do all that, you definitely follow me at Iltopia, ILTOPIA, and Stuck on an Island. You know, this YouTube channel, and, you know, Twitter and Instagram and stuff. So, you know, with that being said, adios.